Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion. Please abiding by Guide with Plus. It's the easiest game of all time. 5 wins in a row. Can't believe I ever thought things about this game were difficult. I mean, it's not like I'm starting with actually good items this time. Bad rate of fire, but good items. 9VAM, 7Y, QE. We have compost as well. We have the shears as well, which is much better. That is just a substantially better item. 1-up is what it is, okay? Like, it's one of the rarer items in the game, apparently, based on the fact that, you know, I think 1-up might have been one of the final items I needed for a save file at some point. By the way, people have been asking, like, hey, NL, when are you going to get 3 million? I don't even, at this point, remember what I'm missing, and I don't know if I care. That's not like I don't care about Isaac. It's just like, you know what? We'll worry about getting that 3 million, or even just 1 million on this save file once the new content comes out and the fervor for collectibles returns, instead of just, you know, I mean, let's be honest, your boy's been around the block in this game a few times. This ain't my first rodeo, and I'm eager for the new content, but simultaneously, if it's like, oh, you gotta beat the ultra hard challenge again, I'm like, you know, maybe I'll just wait on that one. Maybe I'll just take a little rain check on that one. But dude, let me tell you, if you told me, I mean, you know the deal. At this point, I've told you myriad times in the past, there does seem to be sort of like a weird ability of the game to give you the same items again and again. They have given us the shears multiple times in the past few runs. I'm very much here for it. Do not adjust your television set. You will hear the sound of a vacuum-powered floor cleaner in the background. In mere moments, this noise pollution will cease to exist. Well, not cease to exist, but you'll cease to hear it. Do not fear. Anyway, can you just say, sir, I'd like you to, if possible, move yourself from over there and go over here instead, and that's just fantastic, and you are deceased, and you gave me the halo. And I got hurt because I'm dumb. But that's okay. Everything's hunky-dory here. Stats are looking good. I'm a happy man. But this is, don't let him trick you. This is how Isaac gets you from time to time. You know, they give you one run where, you know, because you pressed Q, it's mathematically impossible for you to even have a conceivable chance to win. Then they give you 6 runs that are dominant, and you go, maybe I was just bad on that run. So don't let them get inside of your head. You gotta stay vigilant at all times. We're only one question mark item, cursed eye away from possibly being caught in purgatory, okay? Just, all I ask is that you stay vigilant. I gotta be honest, so today, Cade and I had, we had an adult meeting, not with each other. I mean, we were both there, but it was at the bank. Never realized as a teenager why banks even exist. They exist solely to issue debit cards, and then also there's, you know, grown-up business that takes place at them. Now, I gotta tell you, I'm 30 years old. I meet at the bank probably 3 to 4 times a year. I still don't really understand what it's for. Something's going on behind the scenes that keeps these places in business. It's got something to do with stocks, bonds, and mortgages. I'm not fully kept abreast of the situation, but that's okay. All I know is we got a guy at the bank. Every once in a while, he's like, hey, do you want to come in and chat? And I'm like, aren't you the expert on that one? And he goes, yeah, let's talk. But anyway, the meeting was fine. There's nothing wrong with the meeting. But then, you know, for lunch today, we went to a hipster coffee shop. Look, it didn't fit into my macros, but I'm doing a dirty bulk, so it's okay. I had a cheddar scone, which, yes, that's how we pronounce it here, but I understand it's pronounced scone in other parts of the world. I gotta tell you, first off, it was one of the most delicious concoctions I've ever had in my entire life. It was a scone, had a little bit of cheese in it, a little bit of garlic in it, and you know what was the really touch that brought it together? Little dill. I know, I bit in and I was like, is this dill? And then nobody replied because I was speaking to nobody. And I went, that is dill. But more quietly this time. And it was delicious. Then, after my second bite, I realized, holy crap, this is just a Cheddar Bay Biscuit from Red Lobster. That Red Lobster gives you for free with the purchase of an entree in unlimited quantities. And yet, I paid $3.75 Canadian for just a single one of them. Which is, to be fair, here's a slightly controversial opinion for you. The Cheddar Bay Biscuits from Red Lobster are delicious. Look, I live in a city with great food and great seafood. But when people look down on Red Lobster, I'm like, come on. When you look down on like a Long John Silver's, I get it. But a Red Lobster, yeah, it is not necessarily a super nice restaurant, but it's mildly upscale, and the food is good, dude. If you like ocean food plus butter, don't look down on Red Lobster. Yeah, I know, it's not a, hey, it's a locally sourced halibut seared in the pan in a saltfisken style, okay? But like, you tell me, when I would, by the way, this is again, maybe a good indicator of how far nutritional knowledge has come. When I was in 9th grade, whenever we had a special occasion, my parents would take me to Red Lobster. So like, you know, once a year or something like that. I would always get something called the Broiled Fisherman's Feast. It was like 20 bucks in the year 2002. So, you know, you adjust for inflation. I'm pretty sure it's $99 per bite now. I don't know, you know what? Let me go broiled fisherman's platter Red Lobster. No, not broiled fisherman's platter aquarium. Broiled fisherman's platter. How much? What's the cost of the broiled fisherman's platter now? Now you're gonna make me really type in Red Lobster. Hold on. Now I'm on the Red Lobster menu. Fisherman. Maybe it's not even on the menu anymore. Feast. Admiral's Feast is on the menu. Ultimate Feast is on the menu. Okay, that's probably a similar thing. Yeah, here it is right here. You get crab legs. You get a lobster tail. You get some garlic shrimp. You get some coconut butterflied shrimp. I'm actually stunned to say this. It's only 940 calories. I actually, legitimately, and I'm not being facetious, when I was doing the mental math on it, I was like, that's got to be like a 1,900 to 2,000 calorie meal. Now, that's probably without the side, but still. I'm going to continue to keep the shears here, but it was nice to get bookworm. It's not something somebody in the 9th grade should be consuming, like, at all. But anyway, I know, but it's a special occasion. But at the same time, throw 3 or 4 Cheddar Bay Biscuits on top of that. Here's my controversial opinion, anyway. I didn't get to it before. The Cheddar Bay Biscuits are good, but they shouldn't serve them in unlimited quantities. I know, you know, I'm a rational human being. Human beings should have, you know, it's like Abraham Lincoln said before he went to the salad bar. If destruction be our lot, then we ourselves must be its authors. As a nation of free diners, we will live forever or die by trans fats. Okay, yeah, now it's, you get the idea. It's Titus Andronicus thing. The human brain does not possess the necessary executive function to say, I do not want to consume another Cheddar Bay Biscuit. The human brain, it's not fair. It's a David versus Goliath matchup, but Goliath has a machine gun. Get me out! Thank you. Yo, that's pretty solid. I would not suggest, I think there should be a limit placed on the Cheddar Bays. And not for the good of the restaurant, but for the good of mankind. That's my personal opinion. But only because I haven't been to Red Lobster in a long time. If I'm going to Red Lobster, I want the Cheddar Bay Biscuits because you only live once. Anyway, what was I saying? I also, the Cheddar Bay Biscuit at Red Lobster has also informed a conspiracy theory that I have. And I've seen it applied in other restaurants the world over, okay? Here's my theory, okay? Whenever we would go, and this might be, to be fair, a situation where, you know, it's just because I have, you know, me and my parents. It makes 3 people. Whenever we would get Cheddar Bay Biscuits, because, I mean, they come with the purchase of an entree, so every time we went, we get Cheddar Bay Biscuits. They would always bring out a basket of 4 Cheddar Bay Biscuits. Or sometimes, well, 5 Cheddar Bay Biscuits. Now, here's where things get a little fuzzy. Not everybody is going to understand where I'm going with this. But if you grew up in a family that was overly polite to the point of inconveniencing absolutely everybody, this is the situation you find yourself in sometimes, okay? There's 4 Cheddar Bay Biscuits, 3 people. Everybody gets 1 Cheddar Bay Biscuit. It's very simple. However, the 4th Cheddar Bay Biscuit being consumed requires somebody to step up and be like, hey, I would like to be the person who gets a disproportionate amount of Cheddar Bay Biscuits for now. Is that okay? And then everyone else will say okay, but deep inside they might be like, man, I really wanted that last Cheddar Bay Biscuit. Now here's the thing, they bring you more. However, my personal pet hypothesis is that there is a philosophy at these restaurants to serve you the number of complimentary pieces of bread equal to the amount of people seated at the table plus 1, which requires somebody to say, I'm going to be the last person to get that so we can grab some more. Now, I'm not necessarily suggesting it works that often. A lot of people don't have this problem. They or somebody in their family or their dining party has no issue being the person that goes, I'm going to eat this Cheddar Bay Biscuit so that we can get some more. But not every group has a person like that, so oftentimes you'll end up sitting with 1 Cheddar Bay Biscuit just hanging there, and then they never give you more because you haven't eaten the ones you got. That's just my 2 cents. If you're the general manager at a Red Lobster or another establishment with unlimited soup, salad, breadstick, etc., tell me I'm right or tell me I'm wrong. You could even tell me, my God, what have I done? Letting the bays go by, cheddar biscuits in the basket. Into the blue again at the Red Lobster. 1 per entree, cheddar biscuits on the ground. Take me out of here. It's fine. Anyway, that's my hypothesis. There's a lot of... I think Canada has just very slightly different dining preferences than the United States of America. You know, we also have a chain restaurant in Canada called Swiss Chalet that serves rotisserie chicken, French fries, and the most divisive condiment in world cuisine, Chalet sauce, which depending on who you ask, pardon me, either tastes like dishwater or like the most delicious salty gravy you could ever ask. Now, I'm in the salty gravy camp, to be honest. I think Chalet sauce is delicious. But a lot of people are like, I would never eat that because it tastes like the bottom of a garbage can. It doesn't taste like the bottom of a garbage can. It tastes like warm sodium. It's delicious. Why would I stand there? But Swiss Chalet is popular in the province of Ontario. In the province of British Columbia, it's one of the most maligned food chains in history. When I tell people that are from Ontario but have never, been to BC, which is not uncommon, of course, it's kind of a wide country if you haven't noticed. Didn't you see the Netflix show, Wide, Wide Country? It was about us. Okay, Orbital, don't fail me now. Could have been worse, honestly. Could still be worse. They're like, when I tell them about the British Columbians' dislike for Swiss Chalet, they don't get it. And I kind of don't get it either. We used to go to Swiss Chalet for semi-special occasions as well. You know, that was what it was like growing up. You got a semi-special occasion, go to a slightly upscale chain restaurant. We weren't making reservations at Chez Piggy, where the creme de la creme of the Intelligista ate. We're going to Swiss Chalet, Red Lobster. Play your cards right. You know, maybe a little curry original. The one Indian restaurant that existed in my hometown when I was 12 years old. That's not true. There was Darbar as well. Sorry, cat's freaking out. This cat, by the way, let's be honest, that dining subject is going nowhere. Cat was freaking out yesterday. I was looking for it. Tomo was looking up at the sky. It was stuck on top of the freaking range hood. You know, like where when you're cooking a steak and way more smoke than you expect comes out, so you very quickly turn it on so that your smoke detector doesn't go off and have to evacuate your entire building. He was on top of that thing. I don't even know, like, I get it. I've seen this cat jump. It's a feat of athleticism. The cat, you know, is maybe, I don't know, 7 or 8 inches tall, which is a weird way to describe an animal that walks on all fours, but you get the idea. And yet, when he jumps, he can jump, you know, like 6 times his height easily. So I sort of get how he could get up there. But on like just a logistics level, I was like, man, how did he do it? I do not understand. He didn't even rustle any of the cereal boxes up there. It was absurd. I wish, and you know, it would take away some of the enjoyment, I'll admit, but I wish cats spoke English like one day a year. You could just tell them one thing. Be like, hey, both of our lives would be easier if you blah. I don't know what I would tell Ruka. I think I would tell him, hey man, if you could just alter your sleep schedule slightly. Because right now, we're all off kilter. He wants to play when I have to work. And then he wants to sleep when I'm not working. So we do, you know, we make time to play. But at the same time, it's, you know, sometimes it leads to frustration because he's like, why don't you play right now? And I'm like, why don't you play in an hour? You know, he's like, well, it's my sleep time in an hour. And I'm like, well, it's my work time for like another 4 hours. Okay, hold on. Yes, definitely just grab this. We could use the stats. I would also say, hey, buddy, stop trying to get into the wall. I know that it's like a cat instinct. I mean, I've had these cats for 5 years, right? Something like that. So I would have many different subjects. Here's another one I would say to them. This one's very sincere, by the way. When the fire alarm goes off, don't immediately run under the bed. That's a bad one. You know, they're almost exclusively fire drills. The only other time they're not fire drills is when it's somebody that's just drunk or confused that just hits the fire alarm. Which is very, very frustrating, but that would be 1 year's message. Another one would be, stop trying to get into the wall. You know, our apartment is very closed off. There's not many open wall areas. Sometimes I'll be doing the laundry, though, and you know, Ruka will get up behind me, try to squeeze in between the wall and the washing machine, and then I see him, he's angling for, like, the part where the exhaust or the ventilation from the dryer meets the ceiling, so you can kind of sneak through there. And I'm like, dude, why do you want to get in there? First off, you might not come out. Secondly, you're going to cause me and Kate a whole heck of a lot of stress. So if you could just knock that off. But trust me, by the way, I would be very receptive to whatever the cat said to me as well. If the cat was like, hey, we don't like the chicken wet food, we only like the turkey wet food, I would be like, dude, thank you. That's very helpful. I will stop purchasing the turkey wet food. They eat them both right now, but, you know, that doesn't mean they like them equally, I guess, because, you know, they only get whatever food I give them. It's not like they have the same level of choice as a human being. I'm just saying, it would be useful. I'm not holding out hope, though, for the concept of, like, you know, a cat translation unit. I think that, you know, I don't want to insult the feline brain, okay? But I think the reason that a translator could never exist is I don't think cats possess the ability for the kind of complex thought that can be translated in a language, okay? I think that you could get an emotion. You get hunger, anger, you know? You can get those. No, thank you. But, you know, for a cat to meow and it'll be like, 2 days ago, Tomo stole my ball, so today I've decided to get revenge. You know, I think that's unlikely. I know, Coco the gorilla learns sign language. But I'm here to tell you, don't be mad, okay? There's this viral video of Coco the sign language gorilla. Still an incredible triumph, by the way, don't get me wrong. But, you know, it's a climate change video, so I'm hesitant to throw the baby out with the bathwater. But it's like, you know, man hurt nature. Why do man hurt nature? Nature is man. Man is nature. Man should not hurt nature. And then it's like, retweet if you agree with that. This amazing that this gorilla understands it, but so many human beings don't. And I'm like, y'all, if you don't speak sign language, don't retweet the video with the subtitles, because I'm pretty sure that gorilla is just saying, I'm hungry. I don't speak sign language either, but I'm just saying you should get myself in a little trouble maybe, but you should recognize that you're easily manipulated by just believing that the subtitles on this video are true. You know? If you see a video of somebody, like a human being, speaking another language, and the subtitles say, like, absolutely ghastly things, you shouldn't believe that right out of the gate either. You should, you know, you gotta use your own media literacy to figure out, you know, is this from a Facebook page that says, I freaking love science? Or is this from a reputable, you know, news outlet that has an actual responsibility to their readers to give them, you know, fact-checked information? And I know you're like, yeah, well, what news article is that? It's all fake these days. No, it isn't, though. That's intellectual laziness. You know, whether you agree with them or disagree with them, there's many news outlets, magazines, etc., out there that, you know, have a rigorous fact-checking department. They don't just slap their watermark on a video they stole from somebody else on Twitter. You know, there's a huge difference. Anyway, I'm just saying, it's not easy. You can't just say, oh, they're all bad. Some of them are good, some of them are bad by accident, and some of them are bad on purpose, and that's the worst. Anyway, I wish it were easier. I wish I could just be like, you know, no, you're right, they all suck. Stay home. I think you gotta do the legwork. So I've actually completely forgotten, when you come back to life via 1-up, you come back with the HP. We're about to find out it's 1 HP, right? Is half a heart? Are you insane? We might actually die. My own aversion to paying attention might get me killed. Not that it's functionally that different right now, but to be honest, I thought we came back with 1 red heart. Which again, wouldn't have really helped us out that much, to be honest, but it's like the principle of the matter. Please, guy, give me HP. You almost always give me HP. I would really like if you could give me HP. My stats are fine. That's actually very helpful as well, but some HP would be super swell. If you could find it in your heart to provide to me some HP. Just a single HP upgrade would go a long way right now, my friend. Alrighty. On consumables, I appreciate the support. Simultaneously, can't help but feel like a little bit of HP would do the body good right now. Oh, that's the bean! You absolute fool. You idiot. Okay, I had to check. Oh, no. Oh, yes. Okay, 1. If you don't pay out on 1, you're done, brother. I'm sorry to tell you. Thank you for not being bad trip. So, I don't know, this is kind of a tough one. I don't know if we're supposed to use I'm drowsy here, to be honest. Because I'm drowsy is like objectively fine to use, but I do think that to some extent it also throws a bit of a monkey wrench into my muscle memory. I think I will use it. And we should probably be a lot smarter about our approach when it comes to using our orbital. And definitely also use shears. Thank you. You know what? I'm drowsy turned out to be a very wise decision. We got a deal with the devil. I cannot. Okay, so, I mean, it's gonna be tight. It's gonna be tight. That's okay. All you gotta do, keep your head on your shoulders here. It's the best place for it. No? I'm drowsy? Okay, we will try. Should we try? Yes, I honestly believe it's the right play right now. Anyway, that's what I get for spending so much of this episode besmirching the good name of the Red Lobster. That's not true. In fact, quite the opposite. I said the Red Lobster. It's unfairly maligned, I think. People... They tell me Red Lobster sucks. I don't think Red Lobster sucks. It's not mine, you know... Look. I'm not trying to make anybody feel like their dining choices are not acceptable. You like what you like, right? It's not a big deal. But it's not like I'd be like, hey, babe, happy 50th anniversary, let's go to Red Lobster. I would prefer to maybe get a little bit more special than that. Not that the food is not good enough, but rather just that, you know, it's... You know, I don't want her to be embarrassed. She'll be like, yeah, we went to Red Lobster for our anniversary. I want her to be like, oh, we went to... It's a restaurant that only... The restaurant's in Canada, you wouldn't have heard of it, you know? But still... If you were like, hey, do you want to get a broiled fisherman's feast at the Red Lobster? I'd be like, whoa, bud! Who's buying? I wouldn't say that. I would say it's a... I would expect it to be Dutch treat. Yo, that's very dangerous. Why is it called Dutch treat? You know, that's something... I'm going to look that up right now, actually. Why is it called Dutch treat? The origin of the phrase "to go Dutch" is traced back to when England and the Netherlands fought constantly over trade routes. The British use of the term Dutch has a negative connotation for the Netherlanders, who were said to be stingy. Oh, I guess everybody paying for what they used is now considered being cheap. You know what I consider to be being cheap? Not paying anything for what you consumed. But apparently that's madness, England. To be fair, this is 17th century England. Apparently everybody paying X for X value is considered stingy. Instead, it's much more sensible to have one person pay 2x and the other person pay 0, and then alternate with a series of increasingly arbitrary, yeah, but last time was your birthday. Yeah, but the time before that, your aunt just got out of the hospital. But the time, but that was just McDonald's. It's, yeah, but you know, this was just Tim Hortons. As far as, if you're from the Netherlands, if you're Dutch, don't let the British get you down, okay? They don't know what they're talking about in this instance. If you still harbor a grudge to 1500s England, I'm here to tell you, you're in the not only in the clear, but you're in the right. Splitting things, look, I pay for a lot of stuff, and I'm not bragging about it. I'm just giving you my position because I think it strengthens my position. You know, we treat people from time to time. You know, we've been professionally very lucky, and you know, it's nice to give back, and I welcome the opportunity to do so. But I think that inherently it is unfair. The most fair way of, sorry, I just got an important email. The most fair way to do anything is everybody pitches in whatever they consumed. If anybody ever suggested that, I would be like, you know what, yeah, absolutely. I think most people agree with that, though. There's very few people out there, I think, in the modern era. Maybe it's a little bit of an antiquated ideology, you know, the idea that, like, you know, oh, well, you invited me, so you should pay, and blah, blah, blah. There are some situations, okay, let me hit you. If you work for an organization that mandates your participation at an event, they should pay for whatever fees are associated with you being there. The exception is, you know, if it's like if it's a team building exercise, they should definitely cover your dinner. That's not even like an option. They should cover your ticket on the way in. Not even an option in my world. But if there's like optional stuff, like, you know, if there's a cash bar or something like that, they should buy one drink and you should have to pay for it. Well, I mean, not have to pay for the rest. It depends what kind of, you know, how your business is doing, I guess. But I don't think they necessarily have an obligation to pay for, you know, all 9 of your gin and tonics if that's what you decide you're going to be consuming that night. But definitely the non-optional stuff. Apart from that, I'm trying to think of other examples. You know, if it's a special occasion for which someone with more means is taking you out, that person, why would I just sack down like half of our remaining HP? That person should probably pay, but, you know, that's, again, kind of on a case-by-case basis. I'm scared. I'm actually scared here. I'm no longer as scared. You know, like, if I had graduated high school and, you know, my parents were like, hey, let's go celebrate at this, like, $250 restaurant. And then, you know, when the bill came, they were like, oh, by the way, your portion is $250. I'd be like, come on, Mom. That's a little... I'm your only son. Can't you just put some food in my belly? I've been perfectly content just going to McDonald's. It was you that wanted to get the tuna tataki. Brother, I'm going back for that battery charge. And then I'm gonna freaking hide. This run should never have become as close as it is, but that's like 1,000% on me. And I accept that. I'm not gonna let this thing hit me, okay? Just hide. I was so worried that it was gonna shoot like the homing shot. It was gonna give it a little speed boost. Leave us in a world of freaking hurt. But apart from that, I'm like, dude, if you want to go Dutch, absolutely. What about dating? I don't know. You're talking to the wrong guy. I've been out of the scene for too long. My personal hypothesis is that if somebody agrees to go on a date with you, they should pay half. I know if they invited, there's a weird rule that's like if somebody invited you out, you should pay. I don't necessarily buy that. I consider it was like built in. Hey, would you like to go out for a dinner with me and pay half? Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. It's a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya!